that it reminds us way back of France '98, where they got the best of the best players in the team, and they still went ahead to do great things. So definitely, it's really going to be a very difficult one for any team to meet up with this French team and say they want to beat them, because they've got flair, they can play dirty, they can play flamboyant, and they can really score
mixture
goals.
of everything. Yeah. Well, I think I agree with you. Cosmos says it's beginning to look like '98. Same scenario. They left out some of their best players: David Ginola, Eric Cantona. Most people said, what are these guys doing? Eventually, it turned out they won the World Cup. But this one, we'll have to wait and see. Nodi, well, you're more like an among most of us sitting here, you're more like an expert on South American football. So I think you're the best person to talk about Brazil. What has happened to Brazil, how far they've gone, what lies ahead, and what do you think is going to happen to the host?
The way we compare the Nigeria '94 team and the Nigeria of 2014 is the way the Brazilians will compare the '94 squad with the 2023 squad. You don't have, when you look at the composition of the Brazilian strike, a lot of people have said those strikers are the worst strikers, but they are still surging on. The guys that will score. The fact is that Brazil has not had, I think the last World Cup was where they had some of those best, those kind of strikers.
Collection of players
that you can be proud of, that the strikers can deliver. But now, what was Fred? Fred last played at the World Cup in 2006. You remember the 2006 squad? They were loaded, but they lost out in the quarterfinals to France. The 2010 squad, we thought this squad would be the squad that would shock the world, but they lost to Holland. But even though they played good football, but this one they're not doing. A lot of people say, okay, yes, they've not been so inspiring. Yes, this kind of style of football. It doesn't. Not even the kind of selection he made in 2002 when he came on board after the Wala that almost affected the chances of Brazil qualifying for the World Cup. He changed the team, brought in some players, brought in some young players that nobody ever heard. Nobody heard about Kaká. Some players, even players who everybody felt could have been part of the team. He kept he did on the bench, brought in Marcos that plays in the Brazilian league. But at the end of the day, we saw the kind of magic he did. Ronaldo didn't play football for almost a year, but he became top scorer in that World Cup. He gambled on him. Those are gambles that work. Sometimes these coaches, people will tell you tactical. These are coaches that with tactics, but sometimes these gambles that work. When the gambles work, it becomes the tactical acumen of the coach. But if it doesn't work, it's not a bad coach. But for now, it's working for the Brazilians.
He's a good coach.
Now the fact is that the crisis that the protests that through this World Cup, the Brazilians are scared. The players are scared of it because they know what it means. If we don't qualify ahead, but they have a familiar force in Colombia, but they are giving joy to the fans. The fans are enjoying the moment because the Brazil is still in the competition. They are still surging on. So you can't take away from the Brazilian team. They won't play the best of football you like. But once it's come to delivering the goods, they will deliver at the doorsteps.
But don't you think that the pressure of winning the World Cup in their home soil will probably really affect them badly?
We'll leave that for later. I just wanted to hear his view about how far Brazil will go. But those players know that the burden of expectation is on their shoulders.
And it could be
whether or not they will deliver, we'll have to wait and see. But let's talk about Colombia, Cosmos. I also think that most people didn't expect Colombia to be at this stage.
Definitely.
But they're here now. But they have a lot to do against Brazil.
Yeah, what a very awful time to meet against the host of the competition. Of course, you see this Colombian side, very young. They have got young players that have already made their mark. They've got a player as well, like Neymar for Brazil, is the person that is carrying Colombia on his shoulder. James Rodriguez scored 5 goals already. Lovely goals. Especially that goal he scored against Uruguay, for me, is my goal of the tournament.
Okay.
So as far as I'm concerned, they've got flair as well. They can play the ball like the French team. They can play dirty and at the same time they can play flamboyant.
Combination of everything you need.
Combination of everything you need in a team. Now against the Brazilians, what will work for Colombia, like I've said, will be the undoing of Brazil, and that's a pressure on Brazil. Now, Brazil will want to make sure that they win on home soil, but Colombia will just sit down. They've already achieved They've got into the quarterfinal. They've got young players. Despite the fact that they missed out on their best player or top striker, Radamel Falcao. So it's really going to be a very dicey one. I see Colombia, trying as much as possible to create an upset. So let's just see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. Well, the organizers of the World Cup have had their say as well. After second round matches, the FIFA President, that's Sepp Blatter, he's been talking, and let's listen to what he had to say about everything that has gone down and what the Brazil 2014 World Cup has turned out to be.
It is also a question of experience. It's my 20th World Cup. And this 20th World Cup must be and will be a success. And everything now is going well. Where is all these social unrest, it has been said? No, I have to compliment, and again, I already said it, I want to compliment the people of Brazil. El povo brasileiro, cumprimentos al povo brasileiro. The level has improved. Everybody has improved. It is now the football at the best. It is a rhythm in this game. It's great. Okay, it's not perfect. There are always some incidents because human beings, they make errors. Players make errors. Coaches make errors. Also referees make errors. Because the football, it's a human face of football. Let them do this. Let them do this. At the end, you will see the best or the most lucky will win.
Well, FIFA President Sepp Blatter appreciating Brazilians for what they've done and commenting about referees, the human element that makes the game interesting. All right, earlier we talked about how we hope that our team will be received when they come back from Brazil, if and whenever they come. But let's look at how a team was received by its president, how their efforts at the Mundial was being appreciated. Let's look at how the Americans, what the coach had to say, that's Jürgen Klinsmann, and of course American President Barack Obama placed a call to his players, spoke to them, and how what he felt about their performance at the Mundial.
Clint, Tim.
Hello, Mr. President. How's it going?
Hello, Mr. President.
Man, I just wanted to call and say you guys did us proud.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, you guys just did great, and as somebody whose first sport was soccer, although I was never that good, to see the way you guys captured the hearts and imaginations of the whole country is unbelievable. And obviously the sport's been growing steadily just because so many kids are playing it at a young age. But yeah, this is the first time where I think you really ended up having an entire country focused. And Clint, you were fantastic. And Tim, I think I don't know how you're going to survive the mobs when you come back home, man. You're just like you're going to have to shave your beard so they don't know who you are.
Well, we heard you were watching, and we know how big a supporter you are. So hopefully, we made you proud. It was our honor, as it always is, to represent our country.
All right, appreciate you guys. Safe travels back.
All right, guys in the studio reminded me Barack, well, we should be happy with what Barack Obama is doing, but look, it's not the first. I'm not. You reminded me, and it just came straight to me. Former head of state, Sonny Abacha, did this one.
Yes.
And the fact that Obama was calling those players by their names, Abacha did it in '94
to all of them
as well.
Before the final match against
even before the final, yes. So,
Zambia, yeah.
and I think everywhere it's spreading like wildfire, and it just shows the impact of sports, football. Yeah.
Because it's a global game. You can't take away the other side of it. The attention. When you're playing the World Cup, you see the Americans, they'll tell you they don't like football. But when it comes to the World Cup, you saw the kind of followership.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that will drive the development, the growth of football in America.
And that was exactly what happened in this case, because in America, you know that they have the American football, which is probably the number one sport, the NBA, the NHL, and all that. But football really brought everybody together.
Growing.
And Obama, it seems that somebody that knows the game of football, he talks about it well. You need to see the way he was talking to the players. So
surely was good. Yeah. So that's Well, let's see if we can get the coach, Jürgen Klinsmann. He had a lot of things to say, talked about his players, talked about what happened, and let's listen to him.